Fine, yeah. Cheers, pal. Thank you very much. Yeah, the chicken dance is only done for Newcastle now. Yeah.
Today we interview one of the most influential Newcastle midfielders in recent times. Captain Kevin Nolan spent 2.5 years at the club, scoring 29 league goals in 85 league appearances. Today we give Rob and Kyle the opportunity to interview Nobby.
You had a hectic day, been alright?
No, it's been nice. I've had my assistant manager with me, who was with me, assistant manager I should say, at Notts County. A good friend of mine who's come up with me today. So I've been showing him around the ground, having a good look around and showing him how I used to walk out, what we used to do, where I used to sit, all that type of stuff. But he's been blown away by the city and the place.
What do you think? Was he blown away?
Yeah, he was blown away by it, mate. He's just really enjoyed the whole experience. So yeah, I said the next step now is that we'll get to a game. Unfortunately I couldn't come to the game tomorrow because it's my wife's birthday this weekend, so I've got to get back.
That's the you want to be in the doghouse.
Yeah, of course, on birthday weekend you can't be in the doghouse.
Definitely. Well, Nick, first question for you. When you first heard of Newcastle United's interest when you were born, what did you think?
I'm going.
You're going, definitely. Yeah. You think of the stadium, you think, because no disrespect to Bolton, but the Reebok isn't.
No, listen, the Reebok's a fantastic stadium. It was a new stadium, it was old 28,000, but when you think of Newcastle 52,000, that was gone, you know. It was a no-brainer, you know. I think the manager at the time at Bolton, Gary Megson, he wanted to get rid of me. I was sitting having my dinner. We'd just played Blackburn the night before, and we drew 1-1 in the last minute, which was unfortunate. But apparently, my agent just come and see me. He said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm just having a bit of dinner in Bolton training ground at the time, next to him." He come in and he went, "Newcastle just put a bid in for you," and I went, "Right," and he went, "And Bolton have accepted." And I went, "Okay," and he went, "What do you think?" And I said, "Let's go then." And that was it. And then I was on I literally went home, so I had to drive home to Liverpool, pack a bag. My wife was then going to a concert which I'd bought for Christmas for her and her friends to go to, Pussycat Dolls concert, and I remember her just walking out with all her friends, and I was just saying, "Right, I'm been sold to Newcastle, so I'm going up there, so give me a call in a bit." And she was like, "Oh yeah, okay, no problem." I thought, well, that was quite easy. I thought that was going to go down a bit worse, but about half an hour later I got a phone call. "Are you really going to Newcastle? Are you winding me up?" And I said, no, I'm on my way. And then I didn't see it for another 2 months. So, but it was quite interesting. But yeah, listen, one that I don't regret, and one I'm actually delighted that my first instinct was right.
I've enjoyed it in a weird sort of way, the 8 weeks, but we've got no complaints. I can't come here and say that we were unlucky today, or we were unlucky in the season, because we never went down today. We went down because we weren't good enough over 38 games. That's a simple fact of the matter. And big changes need to be made at the football club. Players need to go out, players need to come in.
So after relegation in 2009, you had been a Premier League player for 8 years, and you were proven at that level, and you were still a Premier League quality player. There was little hope that the club was going to show things are turning around. And so what made you stay with us in the Championship and give it another go?
Well, I got offered to go back to Bolton, funny enough, on a loan deal, and I just laughed and just said no. I had a lot of unfinished business, and I knew, that I hadn't let Newcastle down, but Newcastle hadn't seen the best of me. And I wanted to prove to everybody in Newcastle, I wanted to prove to myself that I could succeed here too. I'm just not I just weren't a Bolton man, and I was only playing because I was at Bolton for a long time. And I think that was my ultimate aim, my ultimate goal was to come back and make sure that when I left Newcastle that they respected me as much as when I left Bolton. The fans respected me there, and I think if I would have left after 6 months, I think that would have been, not only poor from me, but it would have sort of sent out the wrong message. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one who goes around trying to prove people wrong, because that's not me. But I don't want anyone thinking that I've not given 110%, and I wanted everyone to see me for who I am, and I think that was the main goal and the main reason.
Shearer said in interviews recently that he shook Ashley's hand and was then the thought was he was going to be the manager at the time. Did the players think it was going to be Alan Shearer in charge, or did they honestly think it was Hughton?
I think when we got relegated, I don't think anyone knew what was going to go on. I think all the thing was is that we knew when we were reporting back, and we knew that we had Colin Calderwood as a coach and Chris Hughton as a coach, who were going to just sort of foresee and overlook the whole of pre-season. And I thought they'd done an absolutely fantastic job. And I don't think it was like till October until he actually got appointed as a manager. Because they were still looking and we were sort of crying out, just saying, listen, because I think that they were sort of thought, and it was led by the dressing room at that point, because Chris and Cole didn't have that power, they didn't have that sort of the authority, if you like, to sort of say this goes and that goes. And I think that sort of went against Chris and Cole in the end, when he got sacked. But let me tell you, it went like that. We respected them as coaches. We wanted to do the best for Newcastle United. They wanted to do the best, and it was because they didn't know what was happening from day to day. They just wanted us to do the best, and that's all they asked of us, and we did, because we respected them as coaches. So I mean, it wasn't a matter of who's coming in, what's going on. It was just, let's get down, make sure we're ready for August and we're ready for the first game. And thankfully, Colin and Chris, being the ultimate professionals and the quality coaches of what they are, and now managers both of them, and coaches, it worked. And Newcastle are very lucky because of that.
Well, in that season, Chris Hughton obviously took over with his assistant, and I got the feeling as a fan at the time, like he built it around several leaders, like Colaccini, yourself, Alan Smith, Nicky Butt. He was injured for a lot, but he was in the dressing room. Andy Carroll, like people like that. He built it around leaders. Do you think that was influential in winning the title that season?
Yeah, I think, listen, as I said earlier, the biggest thing was early on in the pre-season was that because of the fact that he wasn't the manager, because he was just a coach, he sort of lent on the players and said, look, come on, I'll help you if you want to work hard, and we'll do it right if you do it right. And because we did, he trusted us in that. And I think because we all come together, because, you know, and let's not forget the Leyton Orient game where it all happened, and
the worry,
and everyone's thinking, here we go, we could go again. But you know, that was a massive turnaround for the club. I think that was the best thing to ever happen to Newcastle United. Otherwise, that could have been the end of it. Yeah, that could have been us, you know, being a Sunderland now. That could have been us then, because we needed to get rid of all them people who, you know, quite frankly stood there and went, oh yeah, we'll be there to get Newcastle back, and then all of a sudden just threw the toys out the pram, or wanted to move, or thought they was pastures new and went off. I don't think many of them went off and done better or done anything, you know, brilliant. So for me, it was just about getting the right lads, getting the right mentality, getting the right dressing room, and I think Chris and Cole was a massive part of that. But we drove it as a dressing room, because we drove the standards, and Chris and Cole made sure that we stuck to them standards.
So you scored 2 hat-tricks for the club, Ipswich on the Sir Bobby Remembrance fixture, and of course Sunderland, how can we forget. And so you're still the only player to score a hat-trick in the Tyne derby since 1985. And so, how much do those hat-tricks mean to you now, and does one stand out more than the other to you?
I don't know, I was just talking about that. Obviously one stands out more than the other, because I mean, I think there's only 3 people who've done the one against Sunderland, and I think, you know, what was special is that Peter Beardsley was in the actual in the stadium that day when I done it, you know, and he was the last one to do it before me. So.
Oh yes! It's an overhead kick! It's Kevin Nolan! He's given Newcastle the lead! Oh, St James's Park erupts into noise. 25 minutes gone. It's Kevin Nolan. It's Newcastle United 1, Sunderland 0. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Gutierrez again, charge down. Andy Carroll, shoulder still there. Kevin Nolan. Yes, it's 2. It's Kevin Nolan. He's doubled the advantage. Oh my goodness me. Will deliver this corner from the right-hand side. It'll curl away from Simon Mignolet's goal. It's a stop. Miobi! Kevin Nolan! It's come off Kevin Nolan! He has got that hat-trick! He kisses the cameras, he kisses the sky, he punches the air! It's Kevin Nolan with a hat-trick against Sunderland. Reminder of the score with 89 minutes on the watch. Newcastle United 5, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they were both fantastic days. They were both, you know, I remember it because Ipswich was on telly, My dad was watching it at home, and well, not at home, but they were all in the pub watching it. You know, all my friends, family, all watching it, and to see me do it on, you know, such a special memorial day for Sir Bobby was a fantastic, you know, obviously day for me all around. But then to top it off with the one against Sunderland was, you know, I don't think I'll be able to ever I didn't think I'd ever, you know, do that, but to do it was a fantastic feeling. And you know, even now when I come back, you know, people have already spoke about it already today. I've only been in the city for a few hours, and we're talking about it. Yeah. Well, no, it's great because, you know, you forget. It's quite scary because when you go away from Newcastle, you forget and you sort of get on with your life, but then when you come back to Newcastle, you just feel the buzz again. You know, I've got the buzz again back, and, you know, seeing old people, old faces, old friends, and seeing the place, seeing the ground, the stadium, the buzz, and you just think, wow, what a couple of years I had here, and you know, listen, I'm very, you know, honoured and humbled that I was able to have them.
Got closer, I think, when I started scoring goals, and he thought that he could be my mate then. He wanted to be my friend then, but before, when I wasn't, I was sitting on the bench and stuff, and he didn't want to know us then, you know.
Yeah, he's probably right. Yeah, when I knew that he was going to be all right, I thought, yeah, well, okay, I can work with this guy, you know, and he can get me a few goals. So,
touching on your relationship with Andy Carroll, like, how do you reckon like that worked so well? Because you've done amazing together, both at Newcastle and at West Ham as well. Like, I think these were massive parts in going up in the Championship and obviously staying up in the Premier League, beating the Aston Villa 6-0 and obviously the 5-1 as well. How do you think that? Do you think it just clicked, or do you think it was working a relationship?
Listen, we worked hard on the training ground. That, you know, obviously we knew each other inside out because we worked hard, you know, on the field, and we enjoyed each other's company off the field. So we knew what each other expected. We demanded what we wanted from each other. And for me, you know, Andy was the perfect partner for me. You know, he was a massive battling ram. I knew I just had to get round and help and feed off flicks, and he was the same with me. You know, we just understood each other. So I think he started getting a big for his boots in the end, saying that he was only assisting me. But I think if we look at it, I think I've assisted just as many as him. So, but yeah, listen, it worked. I really enjoyed, and I think it's unfortunate that we just didn't have enough time with each other, because I feel as if we would have stuck together. And when you look at our sort of stats together, it is quite a quality partnership.
Well, a lot of people, like a lot of pundits at the time were thinking, well, how doesn't this work? Because you'll admit yourself, you're not one for pace, and here's Andy Carroll. A lot of people think, well, why didn't that work? And it's because he's so physical, and he's really like got into defenders and really give them a rough afternoon. Even if you didn't score, you had like strength and caused defenders all sorts of problems.
Well, I think the biggest thing was that we never give up when we always, you know, try to feed off. So if it was a tough game, we'd have a goal. We wouldn't just, you know, throw the toys out the pram. We'd have a proper goal. You know, for the size of us, we weren't quick. We weren't, as you said, massively quick, but we weren't slow, and we put people under pressure. So if you had someone who's quick, and you know they're quick, but if you put them under pressure, they're not as quick as what you think. So, and that's what was our sort of motto, is that we put them under pressure. We make them have a bad game. We try and upset them. We try and get in and around each other, and we stick together, because if we stick together, we know more often than not we come out on top. Yeah.
But manager, as you mentioned earlier, Chris Hughton, you held him in really high regard from post-match interviews and what you mentioned earlier. And Hughton he's always come across as very calm and well composed in front of camera, but what was he like behind the scenes, and was he a really good motivator on the training ground? I
think Chris was even meticulous in his plan, and he knew exactly what he wanted. If you didn't give him it, you'd know about it. I think because of obviously the mild-mannered man you see in front of you, it doesn't mean that what he liked behind the doors. And I think that's what sort of, as I said, he lost his job because of that, no doubt about that here. But I think what he's shown since he's gone to other clubs is that he's not like that, and everybody respects him, and he knows how to run a club, and he knows how to run a dressing room. He's a fantastic manager, and he'll always, and I think, you know, and as you said, I hold him in the highest regard, because he's someone who I'll learn from, and he's someone I know that if I've got a problem, I can still pick the phone up now, and I've spoke to him many a time, and I can get good guidance and good clear, you know, good clarity in what what I feel is right or wrong, he'll tell me, and he'll show me the right direction, or he'll give me an honest and great view of how it should, or a great opinion. So someone who I'm absolutely delighted that I've got in my phone book, and I'm able to pick up the phone and you know, sort of try and learn off.
Touching on Chris Hughton, at the end he was sacked rather shockingly among supporters. We beat Sunderland 5-1, and we're then like a month later we got beat off West Brom 3-1 at the Hawthorns, and then a couple of days later we're mid-table, we were newly promoted side, and he got sacked. Like, what was the dressing room's feeling on that at the time? Because the dressing room was very behind Chris Hughton, as the fans were very united and very
dressing room was poor, mate. It was a bad place to be, in terms of we were gutted. We weren't happy, you know. I think we'd shown our displeasure in a lot of things of what was said and everything else. But as professionals, what we did say is that no matter what happens, we're not going to let this club or us start lowering our standards, because Chris wouldn't want us to do that, first and foremost. And secondly, what had happened is that we'd seen it all before. But we've got a great dressing room in there, a great staff behind us. And you know, talk of revolt and things like that, it was just never entered our mind. It was just the fact that we care about this club, and you know, after working so hard to stabilise it, we felt that we've been a bit let down. But at the end of the day, they make the decisions, we've got to stand by it, and we've just got to do the job on the pitch, and that's all they asked of us, and that's what we're going to do. And
it was a tough week. Obviously, we're all disappointed to lose Chrissy. He was a great man, and you know, I think no one can level anything about him at the club otherwise, other than how dignified he was and how much of a gent he was. And you know, he's one of the nice guys in football, and it's a shame, but this is a cruel game.
But listen, I think it's been the making of Chris. I think because of it, he's become a better manager. I think he's become probably a lot harder, and I think he's going to become a lot tougher because of it. But let me tell you, he had the dressing room, and he was the manager in the dressing room, and the reason why we done so well is because we had someone who's professional as him, and Chris and Colin, who helped us in pre-season when they didn't know whether they had a job from day to day. So that just shows, you know, the dedication and how much he loves this job. So I'm delighted that someone like that is still in the game, and I hope he's going to be in the game for a long time. And as I said, I hope I'm looking to sort of emulate what he's done, which has been an absolutely fantastic career.
So when Hughton got lost his job, Pardew then took over, so he walked into a very unified dressing room at the time, despite the ongoing problems. And I remember Pardew's first game in charge, we beat Liverpool 3-1.
Newcastle's sixth manager in the last 3 years. For all the anger and frustration vented at the man who sacked Chris Hughton.
Alan was brilliant. Listen, he'd done it the right way. He knew exactly what was happening. He knew what he was coming into. He'd come and see me that night. He was appointed. You know, he spoke to me in great depth about the squad. And I just said to him, look, Alan, we were all disappointed we lost Chris, but you know, you're the manager now. We'll all be playing for you. Make no things about it. We will be playing for you. Don't listen to anything here, what you've heard outside of here or whatever. We are here for Newcastle Football Club and to the best. And as a squad, we're all together and united. And you're the new manager, and we'll sing by your hymn sheet. And that was how the conversation went, basically.
So finally, we end it with so you've had low spells as player manager at Leyton Orient and Notts County. And so what has it been like for you to make that transition from a player to a manager? And also, what are your thoughts on potentially returning into management?
Yeah, listen, I've loved it, loved every minute of it. It's always something what I looked at it when I was playing. You know, obviously being captain of this fantastic club as well as the other two what I played for. You know, I always wanted to be a manager. I never shirked away, and yeah, I'm looking forward to my next one, my next appointment, which hopefully won't be too long. Nothing that I've got in, but I just want to be back in the game because I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoyed my time as a player. And I want my managerial career just to be as successful. So yeah, a lot of work to be done, I know, but really looking forward to the wind and grind. I'm really looking forward to putting in the hard hours and working hard to make sure that I'm as successful as a manager as I was a player.
And at the end of the season, Kevin Nolan was out on holiday in Dubai with Steve Harper. He was trying to thrash out a deal with Newcastle, but he claims that was taken off the table and he didn't like the way Newcastle were going, so he moved on to other opportunities to West Ham. Kevin Nolan is very much loved in Newcastle. He got a standing ovation at the 9 bar. If Newcastle didn't mess him around, who knows how many goals Kevin could have scored for Newcastle. Thanks for watching. Thanks for Kevin taking part. Bye bye.